We're live.
Wade Hampton of Hampton, 26, Edisto 7. Blackville Hilda all over Hunter Connor Tyler tonight by a final score of 60 to nothing. Around the PD Grand Strand, North Myrtle Beach 60, Darlington nothing. Lee Central 42, King Street 6, Carolina Forest 27, Conway 7. Low Country, Hilton Head 34, Colleton County 6. That's Hilton Head 34, Colleton County 6. And it was Hanahan, a winner over Battery Creek tonight. And that final score was 42 to 14 in favor of the Hawks of Hanahan over Battery Creek. Skiza, couple of finals. Hammond 48, First Baptist nothing. Trinity Collegiate defeats Porter-Gaud 29-21. Now we'll hopscotch around the state, and courtesy of SC Sports Source, they do a great job of posting high school scores from around the states, and we hit them up frequently for the high school scoreboard's scores. So, moving here and there around the state, Silver Bluff over Pelion, 62 to 7. Williamsburg Academy 31, Dillon Christian 6. Also, Cane Bay, a winner over Stratford tonight, 35-28. Myrtle Beach and Hartsville. And Myrtle Beach gets the better of the Red Foxes in a big way tonight, 47 to 14. Other final scores that have come in to this point. Let's do a quick refresh here and see if we've got some more final scores that have come in. And Irmo has shut out Dreer tonight, 48 to nothing. St. John's Academy 22, Calhoun Academy 18. Woodruff and Union County hooked up in a real shootout tonight. Woodruff, the Wolverines win it 63 to 49. It was Wilson Hall over Ben Lippen 47-34. Aiken down Midland Valley, 13-12. Somerville all over Stall tonight down the Low Country, 63-12. Camden doubled up on Marlboro County, 40-20. Crestwood 40. Lakewood 14. Rivalry game there. Crestwood wins it 40-14. It was Chester 31, Fairfield Central nothing. Wade Hampton of Hampton 26, Edisto 7. AC Flora big over Richland Northeast 39-3. It was May River 30, Bluffton 3. Northwestern shuts out Blythewood tonight 28-0. Ainer 51, Georgetown 14, Beaufort 16, James Island nothing. Some other finals: South Florence 38, Wilson 7, Christchurch 53, West Oak nothing. Lower Richland over Mid Carolina 35-0. And I think that has brought us up to date for the moment on our final scores. Let me do another quick refresh here to see if anything new has come in the last little bit. Nation Ford, a winner over Boiling Springs tonight, 56-27. And John Paul II, 56, Northwood nothing. So those are the scores that have come in thus far from SC Sports Source that are final scores. We will continue to update those scores and get more scores to you as we move on through the night. And then David Shelton will be joining us in a few minutes once he finishes up with his work tonight covering the Goose Creek and Fort Dorchester game, which a big game down the Low Country. Fort Dorchester trying to remain undefeated, and Goose Creek hoping to pull off the upset at home tonight. We've got the Gaffney and Dorman game that we're looking for. And I'll get you an update on that as soon as that score becomes available to us. Let's see if we've got some other scores to pass along. From Thursday night, Heathwood Hall beat Florence Christian 21-14. And South Aiken defeated River Bluff 27-14. And checking some other scores, some of this might be a repeat. Bear with me. Camden over Marlboro County 40-20. And let's see, we gave you that one. Orangeburg Wilkinson over Swansea 27-8. Silver Bluff big over Pillion 62-7. Salute at Newberry. That game's going to be played tomorrow, postponed from tonight, as we're taking a look at some scores from thestate.com in the Columbia area. So I think we're up to date on the scores that have come in there at this point. And we'll check scores from other portions of the state as well as we try to bring in some fresh scores for you. Let's go up to the Rock Hill area and take a look at the scoreboard up there. Rock Hill and some of the schools up that way, and see what the results have come in. This is off of the Rock Hill Herald online scoreboard. York wins again. York beats Catawba Ridge. York having an excellent season. I believe that makes them 5-1, maybe 6-1 for the Cougars. They beat Catawba Ridge tonight, 19-13. And Clover is leading Fort Mill fourth quarter, 35-7. We told you Nation Ford over Boiling Springs, 56-27. South Point a winner over Lancaster, 51-13. South Point is 2-0 in the region, 5-1 overall. Stallions scored in every quarter of that ball game. Chester, with its 31-0 win over Fairfield Central, improved to 2-1 in the region and 4-3 overall. Fairfield Central falls to 1-2 and 4-3 in all games. Andrew Jackson big over North Central, 52-7. In a second quarter score, Great Falls was leading McBee 22-19. Thursday, Lamar beat Louisville 48-8. Okay, I think that covers all the scores from that part of the state. Let's take a look at some upstate scores. See if we can check out the Greenville News online scoreboard for you and bring you some of the scores from up that way tonight and see where they stand on things as we continue to bring you the scores that we can get to here on the high school football scoreboard as they kind of just drop in on us here on this Friday night. And again, we'll have David Shelton joining us in a little bit once he finishes up his work tonight with his game. I think in the upstate we had several postponements because of the weather. And let's see. Here is a rundown on that. The J.L. Mann Woodmont game. That's going to be played on Monday. Burns at Riverside. That'll be tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Wade Hampton at Spartanburg. They actually played that game tonight. They moved it up till 6. We'll get you a score on that. Southside at Carolina, Monday at 6:30. 96 at Crescent, Saturday at 1 o'clock. Palmetto at Blue Ridge, Monday at 7 o'clock. Powdersville at Berea, Monday at 7:30. Wren at Seneca, that game moved up to 6:30, so we should get a score there eventually. West Side at Travelers Rest, rescheduled for Monday at 7:30. Clinton and Broome, that game was moved up to 6:30, so they'll play that game. That game is being played tonight. Greenwood at Eastside, 1 o'clock on Saturday. Walhalla at Easley will be at 6 o'clock on Saturday. All right, so those are the postponements up that way. And now we want to see if we can find some actual scores from up in the upstate. So we'll continue to work on that and see if we can pull in some more scores from up that way. Let's see if we have anything else in fresh here. And then we'll go to our first break tonight. Let's see what we've got in here new as we refresh our scoreboard from SC Sports Source. And Woodland beat Ridgeland Hardyville 57-6. Woodland big over Ridgeland Hardyville. Hilton Head Prep 26, Orangeburg Prep nothing. Philip Simmons having a great year. Defeated Lake Marion 38-12 tonight. Clinton remains undefeated. We talked about that game a moment ago being moved up. It's good for the Red Devils because they won again. They beat Broome 47-14. Lexington knocked off White Knoll 31-13. Greer over Belton Honeypath 24-14. Thomas Sumter 47. Beaufort Academy 13. Nation Ford over Boiling Springs 56-27. John Paul II 56. Northwood nothing. Irmo over Dreer 48-0. St. John's Academy 22. Calhoun Academy 18. Wilson Hall 47. Ben Lippen 34. Aiken 13. Midland Valley 12. Camden over Marlboro County 40-20. And Somerville 63. Stall 12. And I think we've hit all these scores at least once. So we'll go to our first break and wait for more scores to come in. Look for some reports to come in from our guys out in the fields and catch up with David Shelton here as well in just a little bit. Fort Dorchester blocked a Goose Creek punt, recovers at the Goose Creek 11. Fort D leads 31-27 with 2:46 left. Man, much tougher game than I'm sure the Patriots expected there. Good effort by the Gators, and we're back in a moment.
Relax on and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. With services like Founders Online and the Founders app, you'll enjoy all the perks of a big bank with local personalized service. If you're looking for low rates, look to Founders. Not a member? Joining Founders Federal Credit Union is easy. Visit relaxjoinfounders.com or one of our more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. Services require credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
In Columbia, South Carolina, game days are our specialty. Whether you're watching the game from inside the stadium or from the big screen at your favorite local spot, the energy remains the same. Craft the perfect fall Saturday in a city where there is plenty of action on and off the field. From tubing and kayaking to Soda City to rooftop restaurants and plenty barbecue. We're ready when you are. Plan your weekend at experiencecolumbiasc.com.
All South Carolinians are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccines. For help finding a vaccine location in your area, visit scdhec.gov/vaxlocator or call 1-866-365-8110. COVID-19 vaccines are free and don't require ID or insurance. Visit scdhec.gov/vaxlocator or call 1-866-365-8110 to find a vaccine location near you.
Hi, this is Phil Kornblut, and for me, high school football Friday nights in the Palmetto State are electric. And I want to know how all the teams in the state are doing. For that, I turn to scfootballstats.com. I've used scfootballstats.com for years as a resource, so I have all the scores and schedules right at my fingertips. And so can you. Never hunt for scores, standings, or rankings again. scfootballstats.com delivers weekly updates right to your inbox. Everything from your favorite teams, including Skeeza, all in one place. Fan subscriptions are just $25 for a full season of access. Head over to scfootballstats.com right now for a free trial. That's scfootballstats.com. Back we are on the high school football scoreboard on this Friday night. Phil Kornblut on the road in Tennessee. We have Matt Smith back at our studios in Columbia, holding down the fort there, taking the phone calls from everybody and turning those dials and making sure everything runs smoothly. We appreciate what Matt's doing so much. So let's get to some phone calls. We'll update more scores as they come in, and we get to some of the folks out in the fields tonight, been watching football games, including our main man, Monty Dutton, the full Monty on the Clinton Red Devils, who continue to roll along with another big win tonight, Monty, and they look very, very good.
It's been over a decade since Clinton was 7-0, and they're ranked number 3 in 3A right now. And the game with, in this volatile age of high school football, Clinton led 27-7 at halftime. But Broome recovered an onside kick and scored, so it was 27-14. But the Red Devils, they were on the 1-yard line at the end of the game. They had a 25-yard interception return. Their versatility was remarkable. Clinton has a loaded backfield, and tonight, the whole backfield. Am I on?
You are. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought somebody was telling me, wait just a minute. Excuse me.
You're good.
Jai Gary scored. Clinton had 4 running backs with more than 57 yards. Each of them, as well as the quarterback, Davis Wilson, had touchdowns. And Wilson completed 7 of 9 passes for 104 yards and a touchdown. So it was a pretty overwhelming performance for the Red Devils. And it was the second straight week that the game has ended with Clinton running out the clock on the 1 or 2 yard line. So it was as I said, it was a big offensive night for Clinton, and Broome drops to 0-2 in Region 3, and Clinton is 7-0 and 2-0. And next week we're looking at one of the state's biggest games because Chapman comes to Wilder Stadium, and that is Clinton has had a progression of victories over teams they've had a hard time beating in the last decade because they've beaten Lawrence this year, they've beaten Union County, and they've beaten and they'd only beaten Broome once in the last 5 years. And so it's been Newberry's another team that Clinton had dominated historically, but had a hard time with in the last decade. So Clinton has returned to prominence this year under Coach Corey Fountain's third year, and it's quite exciting for us old time Clinton fans because there's big crowds every week. The place is alive. The whole town is a happier place when Clinton High is doing well. So it's next week's Chapman game. I can't imagine the hype going into it. It's going to be just about as big a game as there is in Class 3A these days.
I mean, has the team caught the imagination of the town with its success, with its return to prominence?
There have been 2 games this year that really took me back. One was the packed house in Lawrence where Clinton won 21-19. And it was I was on the sidelines and I was taking pictures too. And it was cool to have a big, huge crowd in the background. The same was true of the Union game where there was a large crowd at home at Clinton. And as I said, this is a football town that has been dormant for a while. And I guess sometimes maybe if you win year after year after year, people might take it for granted. But people in Clinton are really hungry for success, and it's quite a return to prominence for the Red Devils.
Okay, Monty, thank you. We look forward to hearing from you next week after that big game. That should be a dandy. Look forward to it.
Much obliged. Always nice talking to you, Phil.
You too, Monty. One-time star center, by the way, for the Clinton Red Devils. Back in the days of Keith Richardson, when men were men and coaches were coaches. And Monty learned some great lessons, I'm sure, from the great coach, Keith Richardson. In the meantime, let's continue with reports. We go to, let's see, Kevin Selman, who's the play-by-play voice for T.L. Hanna. And the Yellow Jackets seeking to remain undefeated. Kevin, I don't know how you called this game knowing the Red Sox were playing in the playoffs tonight. How did you manage to do that?
Well, Phil, I had my iPad beside me in the press box watching it, and a few times I had to focus. I had to turn my attention off the Red Sox game to focus on the game in front of me there. But it was mighty fun, and the last I checked before I dialed you up, we were up 11-5 or 11-6 in the eighth. So it's looking good for my Red Sox as of right now.
Yes, it pains me to say that they are winning. And winning by a healthy margin, 11-6. As you say, they're in the ninth inning, so it looks like they're going to even that series.
That's good. The way the game started, I was a bit worried after Sale give up that grand slam, and they went down 5-2 early. I was a little disappointed, but good to see them fight back. So, anyway, speaking of fighting back tonight, we were at the I was at you mentioned earlier at the T.L. Hanna. We had Malden come into town tonight to Jim Frazier Field, Yellow Jacket Memorial Stadium, in a game that the Jackets jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead and looked like they were just en route to another easy victory. But Malden fought back and scored a couple touchdowns to get it close. It was 21-12 at half with a missed extra point there for the Mavericks, and then they tried to go for two after scoring another touchdown and didn't get it. Does that bring us to that odd score at half? It was a night for the Yellow Jackets. We had 15 different ball carriers, so a lot of players played for the Jackets tonight. It was senior night. T.L. Hanna has 41 seniors. That sure is a lot of seniors. That's more players more than a lot of teams have players. But 41 seniors for Hanna, led the way with Cam Johnson, who had 4 carries. Get this stat line, Phil. 4 carries, 87 yards, 3 touchdowns.
My goodness.
Yes, Cam Johnson, 4 carries, 87 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Tyler Effington, the junior fullback for the Jackets, had 6 carries for 95 yards. And then you had 13 other T.L. Hanna players rush the ball for a big night on the ground for the Jackets. On defense, Chase Burton had 2 interceptions. Brody Winter had 1 for the Jackets. And Wes Stringer led the way for the Jackets with 9 tackles and 2 tackles for a loss. For Malden, it was a night of a steady dose of Jaden Lucas and Deuce Caldwell. As you know, Jaden Lucas is the highly touted player out of Malden, is committed to Clemson. And Deuce Caldwell, if I'm not mistaken, he's committed to North Carolina. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
Yes, big night for both of those guys on the ground. The quarterback, Watson, for Malden looked good at times, but the Jackets were just too much to overcome. The final score was 43-22 here in Anderson tonight.
43-22, another big win for T.L. Hanna. Who's up next?
Well, our last 3 games, as I told you earlier, it was senior night. Our schedule was front-loaded with home games. So tonight was senior night. So our last 3 games are all on the road. Next week we play at J.L. Mann. The following week we go to Duncan and play the Burns Rebels, and we end up the regular season in Simpsonville against the Hillcrest Rams. So those are our final 3 games.
Well, that's some tough ones in there down the stretch. Hillcrest won't be easy, and Mann's improved. And
Burns definitely won't be easy.
Oh, and of course Burns, absolutely. Okay, Kevin, thank you so much. Go back and enjoy the rest of the Red Sox game, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Phil. Have a good night, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you. A couple more scores have come in. Chapman has beaten Emerald 52-3. So Chapman and Clinton setting up for next week. That's going to be a high-powered ball game. Gaffney defeats Dorman tonight 42-35. So the Indians stay undefeated. Dorman suffers a tough loss there. I'm sure we'll be getting a report a little bit later on that ball game. But what an offensive exchange there between Dorman and Gaffney. Gaffney wins it 42-35. I think it was at Dorman tonight. So Gaffney stays undefeated, stays right there on the heels of of Dutch Fork. Dutch Fork was a big winner tonight as well. Got a few more scores in here. Dutch Fork was a big winner over Chapin, 69-21. Gilbert over Fox Creek, 42-13. Bamberg Earhart down Branchville, 40-7. Silver Bluff over Pillion, 62-7. Also, Daniel over Pendleton, 56-0. St. Joseph's 14, Chesney 7, Landrum 37, Blacksburg 7. We have Socastee over St. James tonight, 24-7. Carolina Forest beat Conway 27-7. And it was Woodland 57, Ridgeland Hardyville 6. Time for a break here on the High School Scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. We're back with more in a moment.
Are you from California, Illinois, New York, Georgia, or any of the other 39 states that charge state income tax? Does your state claim you owe them any amount of back taxes? Or have you not filed in years? Is your heart pounding because you know they're wrong or you just don't have the money? Don't fight the state income tax board alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you. The state is much more aggressive than the IRS in collecting taxes. They have the power to take your home, your car, your driver's and business licenses, even garnish your wages, freeze your bank accounts, and go after your spouse. Solve all your income tax problems permanently and keep more of your hard-earned money. Make this 100% guaranteed risk-free call right now.
800-668-2493, 800-668-2493, 800-668-2493. That's 800-668-2493.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A federal appeals court has reinstated the nation's strongest pro-life law less than a day after a federal judge declared the law unconstitutional. The law bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat can be detected, which is normally around 6 weeks. Texas officials had sought to quash the judge's decision, and the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals granted Texas's request to set aside Judge Robert Pittman's order for now while the case is reviewed. Pittman was an appointee of President Barack Obama. The new law threatens Texas abortion providers with lawsuits from private citizens who are entitled to collect at least $10,000 in damages if successful. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 8 points. The Nasdaq dropped 74. The S&P 500 lower by 8. Oil up to $79.48 a barrel. This is SRN News.
Oh man, storm's coming. I need to be prepared. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. All right, here's the Dominion Energy app with Face ID, and I am ready to go. That's right, folks. If those South Carolina storms hit, the new Dominion Energy mobile app is a must-have. So easy to use and convenient to have around. It's not just for power outages. With this app, you have instant access to all of your energy usage, too. Pretty cool stuff. Take it from me. Be prepared this season and download it today. For many years, I've bragged about the great work Stone Interiors does in the home. And brag's the right word, because before I endorsed Stone Interiors, I was a customer first. That means I've been through the same process you can go through. Lainey and I visited the showroom. We were in awe of the selection as we wanted a unique granite look for our kitchen. We got that for our countertops. We found something special. The team at Stone Interiors put the plan in motion. They came out, they installed the granite that we've been loving and beaming about ever since. When folks visit our home, inevitably, we end up in the kitchen talking and someone comments about the granite, from its look to its texture. So is it time to enjoy some new granite, marble, or quartz? Do you need a beautiful new backsplash in the kitchen? What about a new fireplace or an outdoor kitchen? Stone Interiors has taken great care of folks in the Midlands for 20 years. They're locally owned and operated, and that's essential. You can visit the showroom, do a virtual appointment if you want, whatever you're comfy with. Visit stoneinteriors.com or give them a call, 461-8950. And, of course, tell them you heard about it from The Point.
Have you fallen behind on your taxes and might be facing IRS penalties? Have wage garnishments, levies, or liens? Have unfiled tax returns? You want someone local and qualified. Don't fall for those national spots. Meet with me, Teresa, at Capital City Professional Services, and let me help you through your tax maze. I can help with all your tax resolution issues. There are options to get you back on track. Call Capital City Professional Services, 400-8683. That's 400-8683.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Welcome back in, everybody. High School Football Scoreboard brought to you by Federal Credit Union. That Dorman game with Gaffney, what a game. Dorman led the whole way until Gaffney scored. Tyler Smith, a 59-yard touchdown run with 6:21 left, put Gaffney up for the first time, 42-35. Dorman had a chance to tie it or maybe even win it with a two-point conversion. The Cavaliers drove down to the Gaffney 12, had a couple of shots to the end zone or to the goal line in the final seconds, could not complete those passes. Gaffney survives to win that big showdown in the upstate, 42-35. The Indians remain undefeated. A few other new scores that have come in. We've got Spring Valley 30, Ridgeview 27, Wardlaw Academy 50, Newberry Academy 14, Augusta Christian 34, Pinewood Prep 13, Wren 34, Seneca 21, West Ashley 41, Ashley Ridge 7, and do we have anything else? Dillon 55, Waccamaw 6, Calhoun County 30, Ridge Spring Monetta 28, Abbeville 48, Liberty nothing, Cheraw 16, Central 6, Gray Collegiate pounds Columbia 50-0, Chapman over Emerald 52-3, Andrews edges Latta 38-6. That one went down to the wire, Smitty, 38-6 the final. And we mentioned Daniel over Pendleton 56-0, Bamberg Earhart 40, and Branchville 7. Back to great reporters out in the fields tonight, watching the games, calling the games, including Lane Harris with the Myrtle Beach broadcast crew. Myrtle Beach and Hartsville tonight, Lane. Always a good matchup. Seahawks too good tonight for the Red Foxes.
Yeah, it took us completely by surprise. Myrtle Beach with 509 yards of total offense. They held the Hartsville Red Foxes, who came into the game averaging 440 yards a game, 309 per game on the ground, to a total of 192 yards of total offense. Ryan Berger led the way with the Seahawks, as he normally does, completed 17 of 22 passes for 216 yards and a touchdown. Ran the ball 5 times for 46 yards and another touchdown. But the big surprise in this game, Mickey Wilson, head coach, I think he's been converted, Phil. The Seahawks with 307 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns to a paltry 216 passing yards and only 1 passing touchdown. Mickey Wilson is seeing the light of day. And as I told him in the postgame interview, Coach, looks like you out Hartsville tonight.
Why'd they do that? Was it something they saw in the Hartsville defense?
Well, their sophomore running back, Malachi Washington, who is 160 pounds, soaking wet, has been getting progressively better each week. And tonight, he put a big cap on the cherry tonight. 23 carries for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns, added another 51 yards receiving. So the sophomore had 200 total yards on the ground. And after he was pulled out of the game in the fourth quarter, a starting defensive back, Tyron Miles, comes in. He carries the ball 2 times for 37 yards and 2 touchdowns. Adam Randall carried the ball 5 times for 77 yards, caught 7 passes for 68 yards. Jake Doty, the brother of Luke Doty, starting quarterback for the South Carolina Gamecocks, had 4 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. And it was just, our offensive line just did a fantastic job of opening up holes against a Hartsville defense that actually stayed on the field too long. And when I say we out Hartsville tonight, Hartsville's known for that ground control, rushing offense that they run of just winding down and tearing down defenses by leaving them on the field too long. And it was the other way around as Mickey